The Hollywood Foreign Press and NBC have announced that comedian Ricky Gervais will return this year to host the 73rd Golden Globe Awards. Gervais has hosted the event 3 times before, from 2010 to 2012, with a little controversy and a lot of success. Gervais takes over the hosting duties from Tina Fey and Amy Poehler, who have led the show for the last 3 years. John Byer saw Ricky Gervais hosting the upcoming Golden Globe Awards.
I'm going to buy it, actually. Like, the Golden Globes for me it's a totally, I mean, a Golden Globe Award to me is about as useful and is about as valuable as this water bottle. I mean, it's a totally insignificant award that people give artificial value to. At least the Academy Awards, it's 6,000 members of the movie industry voting on their peers. 6,000 voting base, it's very difficult to influence or sway. Hollywood Foreign Press, I qualified for the Hollywood Foreign Press. All you gotta be, it's only about 60 members, 60 to 80 members. All you gotta be is somebody who writes for something that isn't in the United States, but you live in the United States. You're a part of the Hollywood Foreign Press, congratulations. But they put on the best show. I don't think there's any debate that as far as the quality of the show goes, they put on a much better show than the Academy Awards, and that's a shame, but they do. I think Ricky Gervais did a really good job. And remember, for a long time before Gervais started hosting it, the Golden Globes never had a host, per se. They had the ceremony, but never really a host. He came in, he set the tone, he really rocked the boat, and I think even he's admitted today that in those early days of him hosting the Golden Globes, sometimes he went too far. Like, sometimes it went from, you know, Billy Crystal is a master at the Academy Awards of poking fun at people, but making everybody laugh. Sometimes Gervais, in those first few Golden Globes, it crossed the line into meanness, and it made just people uncomfortable.
It was a roast.
Yeah, it was really more of a roast, but a very mean-spirited roast sometimes, while also being hilarious at the same time. And I've heard him in interviews say, yeah, he's learned his lesson from that. And also now, I think there's a really neat challenge for him, because Tina Fey and Amy Poehler have crushed it the last 3 years. So I think that's going to be a really good challenge for Ricky Gervais. I think he's going to up his game. I think he's going to make this really entertaining. So even though I don't give a crap about the Golden Globes, I'm going to watch the show, and Ricky Gervais hosting it is going to make it that much better, I think. So for me, it's a buy.
It's a buy for me as well, but here's the thing. No one who watches this show, or especially who hired him, or anyone in the audience, is allowed to complain if he goes over the line, because they have
knew what you're getting into.
You knew what you're getting into, and the first time, and then the second time he comes back, and he does it again, and people are complaining. But now he's had time off, and you're bringing him back again, so you cannot complain. And you also know, if you're a viewer, what he's done before, and you're tuning in because you're possibly, what's he gonna do? What's he gonna say? I don't think he's gonna get better. I think he's gonna do exactly the same thing that he's done in the past, because that's who Ricky Gervais is. He doesn't apologize to anyone. He does what he wants to do, and that's why you either love him or hate him. I happen to love him. I think that, and even though there were sometimes I did think he went too far, and I was like, I don't know if that's the case, but then I go, well, they brought him back, and now they're bringing him back again. And I am looking forward. I am going to tune in to go, well, who is he going to destroy now? Because that's what's going to happen.
One of the big differences, I heard in an interview with Steve Carell recently, because, you know, Gervais would go after Carell sometimes because he was leaving the office and all that kind of stuff. But what Carell was saying, I think it might have been with Piers Morgan, I'm not sure, but Carell's basically saying, he goes, you know, in former days, in the past, he would just go at you and he would go at you. He goes, but it's different now. He goes, at a recent event, like, he grabbed me backstage first. He goes, hey, I'm going to do this little gag about this. Is cool? You cool? And that's a difference. That's a shift in Gervais now. And I think we're going to see it. I think he's going to, honestly, I think he's going to reel it in just a little bit. And I think it's going to result in him being even funnier. I don't know, Schnepp, what do you think?
I love Ricky Gervais. I love that, you know, how like, you nailed it. It's a roast. And he's not afraid to, like, put anybody on the spot. And that's what we all love about him. He's going to call people out. He's like Dan Clowes in the comic book world. That's Ricky Gervais in the television and movie world. He's going to put people on the spot, laser vision them, crisp them, then move on to the next person. You know, it's like that he's coming back. You're right. They're saying, look, can you reel it in a little bit? And he's like, sure. He's not going to reel it in. You're right. But I like that you said he might give people a little heads up. Hey, I'm going to say this little thing just so you know. Is that cool? And people are going to be like, go for it. It's all for fun. I mean, that's what made the Golden Globes even watchable. I mean, for myself, when Ricky Gervais came on, that actually made it entertaining. I didn't really care who was going to win or lose. I just wanted to watch a fun event, and he makes it fun.
You got to also remember that with the case of Steve Carell, who he's had a relationship with before, he can go and say, hey, I'm going to do this bit. He's not going to be able to flag down everybody in the crowd. No. And there are going to be people that can't take jokes. And he's going to do it anyway. Sometimes, I'll tell you, for a comedian, it's fun to go after the people who can't take jokes.
Right, because everyone should be able to laugh at themselves, and if they can't, then that's even more fun to bust on.
But I think we all agree, though. I mean, there were a couple of moments in those first, especially the first 2 years. In the third, I thought he was much better when it crossed a line from poking fun or whatever to some meanness. And here's the other thing too. He's now coming on the heels of Tina Fey and Amy Poehler, who had the highest ratings the Golden Globes have ever had. Everybody celebrated.
And beloved.
And beloved. Yeah. And they poked fun at a lot of people, but they did it in such a way that it came across like a Comedy Central roast where it was all in fun and everybody felt that. And I think Gervais, over the years, I think he's probably mastered that. I honestly think we are in for a really good time. He's going to go at some people, but I think it's going to have a little bit more of a spirit of fun to it instead of, no, you really suck.
But that's also who he is. The difference between like Tina Fey and Amy Poehler are those kind of likable fun. They'll break your balls and you'll crack up about it. As where Gervais, he'll break your balls, you'll go and everyone else will crack up about it. Like,
he's the acid tongue guy who's going to put the spotlight on you.
And what was the last award? She just did something recently to where and I can't remember which one it was. Where he's like, I'm not going to win this. I think
he was just a presenter. I don't think he was
whatever award show it was. And he's like, I'm not going to win this. And he made fun of himself this time. I agree with you. The first time that he was on the Golden Globes, I didn't think he was the right choice. I laughed. I didn't think he was the right choice because he did cross the line many times, and I was just like, "That's not the right choice." And maybe they're not going to bring him back. And then they brought him back, and just like, all right, do what you got to do.
You know what the difference is? Like where Billy Crystal, Tina Fey, and Amy Poehler have done, and what I think Gervais is going to be able to do, is when they go out and poke fun at people, when we can all laugh and feel good. When it doesn't work is when they go at people, and it even makes us as the audience, instead of feeling ha ha ha, us feeling the audience saying, "Oh, geez, I feel bad for that guy." When it makes the audience feel uncomfortable, that's and honestly, I've seen Gervais do more presentations at different award shows, stuff like that, and I honestly feel like he's mastered that now. I think he's learned how to go at people, but in such a way that makes everybody laugh and everybody feel good. And I honestly think he's just going to crush it. I really do.
Yeah. I want a couple groaners in there, though. Otherwise, he will. Otherwise, it's not Ricky Gervais.
Don't worry about it. They'll be there.
I'm looking forward to them. Yeah.
Hey, guys, if you like this clip, click here to watch the entire episode. Also, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel because it'll help you stay up to date with all the stuff we've got going on here at Collider.